got to do part 3 all over again, so I'm going to give you part 3. Apparently it didn't do the man's version of the video. It was supposed to, but it didn't. So now I got to film part 3 when I don't want to. Alright, this is going to be Sex Game. People Only Want Winners part 3. And this is going to be explaining man's history. So as long as there's no 460, you're okay. Which they probably will be one in another 5 or 10 minutes. Now, if you're a man and you want to know what happens if you get rejected by women when you were in high school or in college, and then they just show up 10, 15, 20 years later, there are 5 signs that you as a man have to pay attention to when you become successful. I already did the one for the women, now I got to do one for men. I had recorded a video for the men, but for some reason it wouldn't let me upload, and then it got deleted by accident. So now you're going to get 3 YouTube videos. The first one ain't even really a video, it's an introduction. So this one's actually a video. Now, sign number 1. You're going to get people trying to find you on social media. You're going to get people trying to find you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And this is when it's 10, 15, 20 years later. As a man, you might say, how come when I get a house, 1 person pop up? I get an apartment, 2 people pop up. I get a car, 3 people pop up. I get my own business, 5 people pop up. So that's sign number 1. Sign number 2 is if you are basically going someplace like a nightclub or a bar and somebody approach you and you haven't seen them in 10, 15, 20 years and they give you their phone number. Remember back in the day, fellas, when you was in high school and college and you was trying to get this girl's phone number and the woman never found you physically, sexually attractive, and it's 10, 15, 20 years later and you're trying to find out why all of a sudden she gave you her phone number, her email address, and then wants you to take her out to lunch and dinner, but she come off so strong and so aggressive and wanting you to take her out to lunch and dinner, but you haven't seen this woman in 10, 15, 20 years from now. That's sign number 2. Sign number 3 is when they pop up and there's a conversation. It could be at the mall, it could be at the gym, and you might be wondering why these people are talking to you when in history you can't remember one time they ever wanted to talk to you. They just wanted to talk to you. Sign number 4 that you are becoming successful is when these people try to befriend you on Facebook, and you be trying to wonder why they trying to befriend you. We all remember when we were in high school and college or at work, we tried to befriend people, and they would deny your Facebook request, your Instagram, your Twitter request, or you would try to hit them up on YouTube and they would ignore you, and then from out of nowhere they want to be your friend, but they didn't want to be your friend 10, 15, 20 years ago. Now, sign number 5, as a man, you're being stalked. The way that you can tell as a man that you're being stalked by a woman is when a female feels like that you are so successful that she's going to follow you everywhere you go. And these be people that you went to high school and college with, and it be 10, 15, 20 years later, extreme cases, 25 to 30 years later. And these be women that you used to find physically, sexually attractive, but now they find you physically, sexually attractive. So those are the 5 signs if you're a man and you want to know why somebody's coming back from your past. So when you become successful, you should know these are the 5 signs that you know that you're becoming a successful man. Everyone, 99.99%, experience this. So it don't matter if you're a black man, a white man, you're Mexican, you're Asian, all men experience this. You get somebody that you ain't seen when you was in high school, when you was in college, and when you become successful, sometimes you get a house, they magically reappear and they show up. You get somebody who find out you get an apartment, because sometimes when you be on social media, that's how they find out if you got a house. They find out you got an apartment, you find out they got a car, and you ain't told these people that. But somehow, some way, they know the information that you got a house. You ain't told nobody that you got a house, but they know you got a house. You ain't told nobody that you had a car, and somehow, some way, they find out you got a car. You don't know how they find out you got an apartment, but they know you got an apartment. They find out that you do YouTube videos. You don't know how they found that out, but somehow, some way, they found out that information. So these are the 5 signs that you need to learn as a man. So this is for the ages of 18 to 45. Because you got some men that's in their 20s and their 30s and their mid-40s that don't know this information. And then you be trying to find out how come no one ever told you this. This is something that them pickup artists and dating coaches, they're never going to tell you this information for obvious reasons. If they did, they would have charged you a whole lot of money to learn this information. So I'm just trying to make part 3 of the video, that part 3 is for men. Part 1 is an introduction. Part 2 is for the women. And you might be like, hey, what happened to us? You said the video's for both men and women. Yeah, the video deleted, the camera deleted the video and had to redo the video all over again. So now you got 3 videos. Until next time, peace.